I'm not an avian vet, and my profession is not connected to birds, but I strongly believe that pigeons are herbivore. So, in order to keep your pigeon healthy, you should not feed it insects or worms, egg yolks or egg whites, cat or dog food, or any food that is made by humans like bread, french fries, chicken nuggets and all that, including milk or any dairy products. That's a big no-no even to baby pigeons. By the way, we're talking only about Columba livia domestica. Now, with a clean conscience, let's talk about what a healthy diet for a pet pigeon should consist of. And let's start with pigeons eat seeds and grains. That's all. Cool. I'm just kidding, there's a little bit more to it. First of all, the more variety of seeds you will give to your bird, the better. So let's look at this seed mix that you can find in most pet stores. Mostly red and white millet, a little bit of red Milo. Ooh, that crushed corn, pigeon will not be able to swallow. What else is in there? Some safflower seeds and 2 very lonely halves of a piece. Okay, I'm being sarcastic here. It has a little bit more stuff, still not enough, and I think you'll need to add more to it. Yep, a grocery store. None of the products that I'm showing in this video are sponsored, but if you're going the path of I'll make a variety of seeds and grains for my pigeon myself, you can get everything from a grocery store. I mean, honestly, with the same success, you can just buy wild bird food mix, preferably with corn, but without one will do as well, instead of special pigeon and dove mix from a pet store. In addition, from the same store, consider getting some barley, maybe some flax seeds that I know Toby hates, maybe lentils. See if your pigeon will like them, because mine doesn't. Buckwheat that not a lot of stores carry, but if you will find one, definitely buy it. I'm not gonna lie, I had to go to another grocery store to get it. And maybe a pinch of rice, raw unsalted sunflower seeds, and raw unsalted peanuts as a treat. And, it's very important here, split green peas. Peas and beans, soybeans, and cowpeas have high level of protein, and approximately 40% of your breeding mix should consist of these grains. And so, this is where your pigeon will get necessary protein. Not from worms, insects, or boiled chicken eggs. You can eat that yourself, my omnivore friend. However, if you are not breeding or raising your pigeon, then the proportions of those grains will be different. Unfortunately, I don't know the best ratio since this is not the way that I feed my pet. But what I know is that exposing your bird to the bigger variety of seeds at least will give a chance that your pigeon will get most amount of necessary nutrients for it to have a healthy life. With that being said, I still think that it would be best if you will get seed mixes from a specialized pigeon supply store, because they're gonna have not only a good variety of quality seeds, but also everything will be already mixed in the correct proportion. An average-sized pigeon requires about 1.5 ounces of high-quality feed per day, best given in 2 parts, 1/3 in the morning and 2/3 in the evening. This proportion may be reversed for short birds or races. And during the rest period, if it's not too cold, the bird may eat as little as 1 ounce per day. So, in other words, scoop about 2 tablespoons of food in the proportion of approximately 60% of seed and grain mixes and like about 40% of pigeon pellets. And that will be all food that your pigeon's supposed to eat daily without leaving anything behind, which does look like a lot. But see how it goes. If your pigeon doesn't eat everything within a day, this may mean that you're giving too much. Reduce the amount of food and observe. If your pigeon died, you are probably not giving it enough of food. The reason why I'm adding pigeon pellets is because they have nutrients that may be missing from seed mixes, like, for example, biotin supplement, ascorbic acid, vitamin E, and so on. And yes, you can give nothing but pigeon pellets to your birds, but some fanciers notice that their pigeons start to have like a soft poop. They started to experiment and find out that the best proportion that worked for them was 50-50. Personally, I don't know. Like, I never tried to give Toby only pigeon pellets because, come on, she's my pet. I spoil her. I buy 2 kinds of seed mixes from Pigeon Supply Store. This way we have a solid variety of seeds and grains for Toby to try out. I combine them together to make some sort of a food bath. I leave it out there for Toby to eat anytime she's hungry, and she likes to dig, so it also serves as an entertainment for her. Yeah, I do the same with raw unsalted peanuts. But the way I do it is not ideal because pigeons, as any other animal, eat only stuff that they like and leave stuff that they like less. And needless to say that pigeon pellets are at the bottom of her list of preferred feed to eat, which means we're missing out on nutrients. Toby's a female though. Every month for about 20 days she sits on the nest, and this is the time when she happily eats everything that is given to her. And I use it as an advantage. I come over and give her some pigeon pellets that she wouldn't normally eat on her own, and some sprouted seeds and grains where she can get additional vitamins. Now, I need to mention that the healthiest way to give your bird seeds, and that actually goes to parrots as well, is in a sprouted form. In the form of sprouts. I'll show you. I have a small strainer that you can easily get pretty much anywhere. I fill it with a pinch of seeds and grains from the food bath. Not too much though, because those sprouted seeds must be eaten within like 2 or 3 days. At least I noticed that Toby won't eat sprouts if they're too big because, well, she's a spoiled brat. So I put it in a bowl of water and leave it for overnight so that everything can soak up as much water as needed. The next morning, some seeds will be sprouted, but regardless, I transfer it all to a small bowl with a wet paper towel so that seeds can continue growing and not just dry out. As soon as the seeds sprouted, you will see a tiny plant poking out. It's ready to be given to your bird. And if you will leave wheat in a damp paper towel for like 3 days, it starts resembling a spider with like its legs sticking out. When I give it to Toby, it looks like she ate a spider. It's very satisfying to watch. I'm not a big fan of spiders. Also, sometimes I plant those sprouted seeds and grains in soil and feed those baby plants to my bird. She especially loves this one. It's safflower. I break it into small pieces for Toby to eat, otherwise she won't because she's a little princess. But I don't mind because, you know, it's healthy for birds. Worth it. Oh yeah, to grow the baby plants, I use just a simple plastic container. Since we started talking about plants, it's also important to give your pigeon green stuff like lettuce, cucumber, Brussels sprouts, spinach. I don't think I need to tell you how nutritious all this green stuff are, not only for your bird, but also for you. But I need to mention here though that because pigeon's beak is weak, you'll have to cut all this green goodness into small pigeon bite-sized pieces. Otherwise, they won't be able to break and eat stuff that are too big, which is not a problem for parrots, but an issue for pigeons. So what I do is I hand feed Toby with this. This way I know that she actually ate some fresh lettuce or whatever, cucumber, and not just played with it and tossed it around. It also serves as a bonding exercise, like, you know, hands equals food, not scary. Oh yeah, your bird will let you know when it's full. And that leads us to another point. In order for pigeons to digest the food that they ate, they need grit. It's very important for a pigeon's diet. This one is widely available at pet stores. I mean, it looks like it has good stuff in it. But I'm not sure if the proportions of things like salt are correct for a pigeon. Again, I'm not an avian vet. I actually don't know how much salt pigeons supposed to get, but this specific grit is made for cockatiels, parakeets, canaries, and finchers, not pigeons. Pigeons do need salt though, but you have to be careful with it. Over a prolonged period of time, excessive salt intake will lead to increased thirst, causing excessive fluid intake, which leads to nothing good, like heart or kidney disease, strokes, and stuff like that. So one day during Toby's exploration on the kitchen counter, she found a shaker with a pink Himalayan salt in it. I noticed that she would go there and lick the salt that was like accumulated on sides. Hi, spoiler alert. Alright. I trust that she won't overdose on salt because I see that she goes there to eat it not very often and it's available for her on its own and not as a part of the grit, or I don't like sprinkle salt on her food. In terms of grit, I also noticed that a lot of pigeon fanciers use redstone. It has necessary minerals and specifically made for pigeons. In addition to that, they also use grit that has oyster shells. That's a source of calcium, and small stones which help the digestion since pigeons don't have teeth to mold seeds. All that you can get only from pigeon supply stores. I get both kinds for Toby, combine them together and leave it out in a container so that she can go and dig through whenever she wants to. I also like to give her some eggshells because she's a female and she lays eggs every month. That means she needs more calcium. I boil eggs for about 3-4 minutes. Once done, I quickly put them under cold water, not only to cool them down, but also this way it will be easier to separate the egg from the shell. When I pick the shell plates to give to my bird, I also remove that white thing. It's not necessary, but I do that. Some clean plates I break into small crumbs and put in addition to the grit bath. And some I hand feed to Toby. This way I see that she ate necessary calcium, and in addition, again, it serves as a bonding exercise. Hands are friends, they provide food and calcium. But since we started talking about calcium, just giving it to your bird is not enough. In order for calcium to get absorbed by the body, it will need additional element, vitamin D3. Without it, your bird would just eat a ton of calcium and then just poop it out. What? The best source of vitamin D3 that I know of is the sun. I mean, of course you can have like these lamps with UV rays and stuff like that. Or you can give a little bit of cod liver oil every month for your bird, but I still think that nothing can replace an actual sun. Emphasis here on the actual sun. If you'll put cage with your birds next to the window with glass, it's not gonna work because the glass absorbs rays necessary for the bird to create vitamin D3. But if you will open the window and the window will have like a net to prevent your bird to fly away, that is what your pigeon needs. Some sources say that the minimum amount of sunlight that is necessary for your bird is about 15 to 30 minutes a week, which is not that much. I like to take Toby in a carrier for quick walks when it's sunny out. This way we both get necessary sunlight and some fresh air. And because she's afraid to be anywhere below my shoulder height, I have to carry her around there. So if you'll see a girl carrying a cat carrier with a pigeon inside instead of boombox, yep, that's me. Sometimes I make weird life choices. Those are all necessary components for your bird to stay healthy. Along the way, you may have some difficulties. For example, I had an issue where Toby was not eating peas, and we already find out that peas is very important for your pigeon since it's a source of protein. I had to experiment and discovered for myself that the only way that she would eat peas is when it is halved and soaked in the water and like now soft. Then she eats it no problem. Another issue that I had to deal with is that Toby would not eat pigeon pellets. She was just not even considering this as a food in general. I noticed that she liked lettuce, so I had to cheat. I took thick part of lettuce, found the smallest pellet and put it inside of lettuce, making it some sort of sandwich. She was eating it thinking it's just lettuce. Little did she know. Then I was gradually putting bigger and bigger pellets till the point that she no longer needed lettuce and was eating just pellets. So yeah, you love your bird. You gotta be creative. Oh, one more thing. There is a list of items that considered to be toxic for pigeons, so those must be avoided. Although it doesn't necessarily mean that if your pigeon will eat one of those once, it will drop dead. However, if you will be systematically feeding your bird, say, onions, that will not lead to anything good. Whatever is not on the list, I give to Toby in small amounts here and there, like sometimes. This way I also give her raw and salted sesame seeds. They are actually rich in calcium and seems like she enjoys eating them, especially some days before her egg laying, so why not? When I make salad with bell pepper, I have some seeds left over that nobody eats. Toby loves to pick them out, so I give them to her. When I get myself raw unsalted pumpkin seeds, I also share some with my bird. Same goes to bean sprouts on the rare occasion when I have pho. But again, I don't give those things to Toby every day, only here and then when I have it myself. And that's it. I hope this video gave you a broader understanding of what your pigeon should eat. You don't need to follow all the stuff that I mentioned in this video. Definitely experiment and adjust to see what works best for you and for your bird. My only intention was to show you that you are not limited only to pigeon and dove mostly millet mix from the pet store. There are way more stuff that you can add to make your pigeon's diet more complete, and I have no doubt that if you love your bird, you will expose it to the most nutritious diet possible.